already ate it once back there. I really don't want to do it again.
Did you really? You fell already?
We are in the swamps of our home ground here in Michigan, trying to pull some trail cameras. It's almost the end of February, beginning of March range. We just want to, I'm guessing the camera batteries are already dead, but if anything, this time of the year is like, everybody always preaches postseason scouting, postseason scouting. Granted, it probably would have been a lot better in January, fresher off of the season, but you know, life happens, ATA, all the fun stuff. So now we're back out in the stomping grounds to pull one camera and we got another one to grab. Let's see if we can find some cool stuff on the way. There's a fresh layer of snow. I don't think we're gonna find any sheds, but there's always hoping. Okay, we are approaching the destination of the first camera. And I cannot stress enough, just from what we've seen so far, the positives to scouting. If you got snow on the ground, I know some states you don't get it, sorry, but things become a clear layout of how their travel patterns are. I thought a deer just ran away, but it's just the wind. When we came back here in July and set these cameras, me and Michael couldn't really see a lot of these deer paths because of the foliage so close to the ground. Just kind of cover them up. So there's a couple sweet little sneak trails coming out of these swamps. Good little setups. And we're going to be walking right into a bottleneck where this trail camera is, so I'm curious if it's still used as much as it was. And if the trail camera's gone, poop!
There is a bed right there. And you look right up there. And there's a rub. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na. A little sneak right out of here. He might still be alive. Path right through here, coming up to his rub, exit out of the bed. Ooh, hot dog! Hot diggity dog!
Can actually see the camera, so that's good. The question is, when did the batteries die? That'll be the real question. And, interesting. The cow path that was set up on in the summer is dead right now. Well, there's some tracks, but summer, winter activity differences. This little spot we've got right here is in between two swaths of swamp. It's a big cattail swamp here and a big cattail swamp right here with about 100 yards in between the two fingers of higher ground. So it really does pinch them like for easy travel to come right through here. But the activity we see right now in the wintertime, there's nothing. So it just really depends if this lasted long enough in the hunting season, if this is a spot worth hunting. And if it doesn't last in the hunting season, I'm blaming Michael because I told him to change the batteries back in September, and I don't think he did. So we'll get this one down, head back out, and then the next one's a short walk. Be nice. Be nice.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, bud.
All right, location number 2, searching for camera number 2. This is the one I suspect that is probably going to be gone. Reason number 1, it's pretty close access to the road. Number 2, I'm pretty sure this is a pretty high beaten area of public piece. Not 100% sure because I never had the chance to hunt it this year, but I'm really kind of hoping the camera's there so I can get an idea of what kind of pressure it gets more than anything.
Oh no, it is still there. Holy wow. She lives. Wow. You even had me fooled because I didn't see you, buddy. Cool.
You can see from the B-roll here that this is like a big edge of thickness. I think this is like their core bedding area. And then we have ag here, which is private. This was a hayfield last year, and I think that's what it predominantly stays. But it's like 2 corners. So like I always talk about like habitats meeting each other. So you got thickness, food, and like a wide open spaces. So it creates these edges. This is a major edge. I'm really hoping that camera up there will give me all the information I need for next year. Because if it stayed alive through rut, and there's a lot of deer bucks traveling this edge, there's a couple trees here that'd be easy to set up on. Or it's gonna get all the people I walked by it. One of the two. All right, we are back in the back of the barn now. Pulled that second camera. I think the mic died in the process of pulling that second camera. I can't believe both of them made it through the season. Son's out here playing duck hunter, Got the new dog out here. We're gonna go over all of these pictures together. Is just right now live feed, might as well do it. I don't know how many videos I'm gonna have to sift through to see if we can find like a nice buck. See what happens, right? So let me get the camera set up here and then we'll start reviewing the photos. All right, there's me, and it looks like the last time I was back there was August 18th, so there's not a lot of photos for 514, so we're just gonna start ripping right through these. Oh, first deer, August 18th, a little buck. Ooh, another better buck, maybe a 2-year-old, more likely a 1.5 old, still in August. August. Not surprised that we got coyotes back there. Little buck, raccoons. Lost at level 12, that's a bummer. A lot of critters. My window of view here isn't very big. That one's rubbed, September beginning. I made it that way because my camera was up in the air, right? So I didn't want people to be getting after it. So who knows what I could be missing. That's the only problem when you have your camera at such a steep angle pointed downward. And there he is again. That's a good buck. I'm not super picky, especially in state land. I mean, a nice 2.5-year-old on Michigan, that's really nice on state land. September 25th, buddy. If that would have been season, I would have smacked him. So that's what I'm actually really curious about this spot. 2 things. I was trying to discuss it when Jesse was holding the camera and the mic died. This is where a whole bunch of habitat converges in one spot. And I'm trying to figure out, 1, if it's a good rut spot and I'm not getting people activity, or 2, if it's an early season spot. So that's why it's nice to let the camera soak all year long. You get all this data. So we're just about to the beginning of October. We're still getting buck activity through here and doe. But you know how it is in Michigan. If you're from Michigan, as soon as October hits, see, there's a person right there. There's a person right there on October 1st, 8:39 a.m. So I have no idea what that gal's doing. I don't know. Maybe they're hunting. But I'm going to guess that's where all the pictures start dying off. We're about halfway through, and we've got like 4 more months to go. Squirrels. Doe at night. Squirrels. Another guy. This guy looks curious. That's the 9th. And we're still looking at squirrels. And yeah, at least we're getting some turkeys. Maybe it'd be a good turkey spot. 1 deer butt. Deer at night. That's a little buck. Another hunter. So that's 3 different hunters. This piece is getting hammered pretty good. So, another hunter. That's a different hunter again. And maybe they're not hunting. I don't know what they're doing. That's 4 hunters. And there's a little buck. Daylight, October 27th. So now we're getting into the rut. Little buck movement. Another spike at night. Not getting much activity. Now we're in January, out of season, so it'd be cool to get a buck picture after this, just to see what made it through. We're only a couple days away. There's me. That was it. Whatever. At least I got some information out of it. So if there's not the human pressure, which there obviously is, there's a little decent early season activity. And then basically after that, nothing. Media 100? Yes, okay, we are in business here. This is November. Let's see what we have in 101. This is December? And then I'm guessing 102 is going to be later in the year. More December. Cool. All right, let's check this out. So, media, 100. These should be, yep, they're videos. That's a little broken buck right there. Just a little busted up guy. Just hitting through that saddle. This is the really good spot I think that could be promising. You see this is already daylight movement. Again, granted, this is right in the middle of the rut, so I'm not surprised there's daylight movement. I want to know, there's a little buck. That's a decent, what do we have here? What are you? Oh. See, now that's a buck right there I'd shoot. I'd shoot that buck on state land in Michigan. And murder me if you want to, but that's a solid buck right there in Michigan, okay? So that one in state land, that's definitely, I'd shoot that bugger. He's a good, beautiful buck. That's probably the one that made the rubs that we were looking at over there. Another buck. This is now nighttime movement. Man, what is that guy? Is that the same one that was, what is this guy? Okay, let's see. Dude, that's a stud. That's a stud. This is October.
That's a 2 or 3 year old buck right there, man. Look at the brow tine on that sucker. Whoo! November 6th. Think he made it through? Probably not. All right, next video. Oh my gosh, is that him again or is that a different one? That's got to be the same one. Look at the brow on that sucker. Look at the brow. He's searching for something. He's got a hot girl somewhere around there. And he's got a hottie around there somewhere. Oh, buddy. A little buck. Okay, what do we got here? There's nothing. Yep, there's a hunter. November 6th. He walked right by the camera, I'm guessing. And then blew that out, probably. Bummer. Bummer. Another nice buck, though, here. Maybe a young one. Young one. There's that same guy again. Good for you, man. If that's you. If you got that buck, sick. I hope you actually, if you shot that buck and was dragging it by here, that'd be really cool. There's a lot of buck activity through here. There's another decent buck. What are you? Let me see. Come on. Come on. Work. Yeah, it's a solid 2 year old buck. I'd probably sling an arrow at him. Sue me. Year and a half. Year and a half. Another good buck. Man, another probably 2 year old buck. Solid amount of 2 year olds back here. This is still, okay, now we're working ourselves backwards. So now this is the end of October. That guy is probably squirrel hunting, I'd hope. I don't know why he'd walk back a mile and better to there to squirrel hunt. Oh, man, there's another nice buck. That's October 27th, daylight, middle of the day. So rut action, middle of the day, solid here. A lot of deer activity. Funky buck, little funky buck. I'm kind of wondering, as we're working our way towards the beginning of October, what it's going to look like here. Because if it's promising early season and it gets less human pressure, that's Michael. Okay. So he switched the card out middle of October. Hit restart on the bottom down there on the Nintendo. The button on the right side. Yep. And now you can do Mario. There you go. Kids. New technology. All right, let's go to here. Where are we here? This is December. Again, I guess we're working our way backwards here, so that's fine. This would be muzzleloader range. There's still young buck mater there. That's a good buck. Nighttime activity. It's not too surprising. I kind of figured I'd get some more daylight activity back in here, but if there is human pressure showing up around, that's a good buck. This is the end of November, so we're still in rifle now. So rifle, daylight movement, daylight movement, daylight movement, daylight movement, dark, nighttime. This might be promising, man. This might be a promising, another decent buck. This might be promising to look at. Another year and a half old. Still had a good frame. That's that tight and narrow one. And the year and a half. That was it for November into the start of December. So the camera definitely slowed down as the season went on, but it was still getting a pretty decent amount of activity. And there was fresh tracks that we saw back there anyways, me and Jesse. So last folder, this should be December. Camera card must have got full at the end of December here. So that buck probably made it through December 26th. Man, that's a nice buck right there. That probably made it through on Christmas Day. Let's watch this video here. Is that the long brow? Was that on the other? Or was it this one? Look at how much activity's back there right now. End of December. So this would be late archery. I mean, granted it's night in this and it's at 10 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock. Still dark out, but this might be a money late bow season spot. There's daylight on Christmas. A lot of daylight movement from the does. Still daylight, dusk, dark. Man, this spot is promising. This might be a sweet, look at that, daylight, December 19th, solid 2.5 year old. And if he's not dead there, more than likely, and he made it through. So my fingers are crossed on him. So that's 2 nice bucks. I think that's a different one than before because the other one had a really long brow. So there's 2.5 year olds that made it back here, sick. Whether they make it to December of next year, look at all them does, all them heifers and llamas. And that's it. So that was from December 15th
through Christmas, so 10-day window there. That's pretty solid. Even though I didn't hunt these spots and it wasn't prime of the prime, it's still like, for Michigan deer, money. That's got me amped up already. Here's what I've gathered from these, okay? The one camera, the one that was just taking pictures, only had 500 something photos the first set we went through. I probably won't hunt there. I was hoping it was gonna be a little just off the road spot that people overlooked. Obviously not, so that's fine. The second camera though, where you gotta push back in deeper, granted we saw some hunters kind of towards the peak of rut, but it was still only 2, and that's a gut slot where people have to almost travel through if they're gonna go back there. That didn't get as much activity, understandably, because of the distance. But that late season activity that was back there is super promising. It might be a spot I'd like to spend 2 or 3 days and hit that second rut back there, because that's what those bucks were doing that late in December. Between the 15th of December and the 25th, that second rut, that's the slot right through there. That's the time I spent down in Kentucky this last year, so it's promising. I appreciate you guys tagging along with us. Hopefully got you a little bit of insight and get you amped up for season already in 2023. We got a lot more stuff coming. Next video, I got a new bow coming. It's supposed to be here soon. I'd like to go over that, set that up again with you guys, do some shooting, and whatever else we got in the future. There's tons. There's so many ideas. So I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.